real? Okay, so shall I start, or do you want to start?
Well, I'll just say that the reason we chose to do this is because it's something that keeps coming up again and again and again about these beliefs. And it's getting to the point now we feel like we have a lot of information on the subject and we'd just like to share it with you. Because there's an awful lot of people we feel are struggling with this and not really understanding exactly what's happening. So we'd just like to bring a little bit of clarity to you. So yeah, you go ahead, Amy.
Right, when we talk about this subject, we're talking about it from a very personal place, right? We've both experienced psychic attack, and we've also moved through it, and we've also helped lots of other people on various levels move through it. So is psychic attack real? Well, the answer to that is yes and no. Okay, because do lower vibrational entities and energies exist? Absolutely yes. Does the dark exist? Absolutely yes. The reason why I'm saying no is because a lot of the time it's perceived psychic attack as opposed to actual psychic attack. So what I mean by that is, again, speaking from very personal, many different experiences, okay, a lot of the time people perceive what is a psychic attack is because they want to blame somebody else or something else rather than take ownership and responsibility of how actually powerful they are and that they actually have the ability to create. Sorry, don't worry about it. Just that they have the ability to create, let's say, entities, right, and thought forms, right? Let's say things that they perceive as being negative around them, okay? So with psychic attack, can other people send you bad energies or, let's say, lower vibrational vibes? Yeah. Is it up to you as to whether you have a say in accepting them? Yes, right? Can it actually harm you? Well, no, right? Because when you are of a belief system, don't hate me, but I'm just going to tell you how it is, right? After working with a lot of people, when you are in a victim mindset, when you have the mindset of, I can be attacked, you are open to being attacked. When you are not available for a reality where you can be attacked, it's just, it's not, do you know what I mean? It's not going to happen, right? It's like people can try and send you lower vibrational energies, but in your energy, it's just your energy is higher vibrational. So you will either not be aware of it, or you may have an awareness of it, but you will not have any fear around it. Okay? Right. Mum, what's your perspective on what I've just said there?
Okay, so for me, psychic attack is twofold. It's, first of all, it's taking on energy. Because many people, when we're doing this kind of work, we become very, very sensitive to other people's energy. So, and quite often, even when you're not doing this work, if you're sensitive, you will feel other people's energy. Like you will know when somebody is sad, or you'll know when somebody's had a bad thought about you. You just know intuitively. So that knowing can be you going into a room and really feeling bad because something has happened in that room. Now, some people call this psychic attack. It's not psychic attack as such. This is kind of unintentional, just taking on the energies around us. So this is where it is important that we protect our energy. But again, we cannot be in victim mentality, because we laugh when we talk about this, because we've been there and we've done this. Oh, I can't go out of the house. I can't go here. I can't sit in that chair. Oh, it's all too much. You know, oh, I'm too sensitive. It seems that a lot.
Well, there's an element of, right, there is an element of truth to that.
Yes,
but you've really got to notice when you're doing that, because, oh, I'm being attacked, or, oh, everyone else's energy.
Yeah, that's when you are actually beginning to slide into victim mentality. So if you are feeling those things, you know, you are feeling, oh, there's a dense energy in here, then that's when we just have to raise our vibrations, because that's what we're going to talk about. That's where we bring the angels in, about raising our vibrations. But for me, that's only one side of psychic attack. The other side of psychic attack, which is a common belief, is, and it's true in some cases, but it's so rare, is that something is attacking you. A spirit or some dark entity or some demon or something is attacking you. Now, we've both been in this place, Amy and I, when we were coming out, sounds weird that coming out, when we're going through a spiritual awakening and beginning to experience a lot. Now, Amy's had these experiences because even though she's not working as a medium, she is very mediumistic. So I started to see, I've always seen, to be honest, I've always seen spirit around and angels, but it's been sort of dormant until I started having this massive spiritual awakening and it came out properly. And I began to see more and more spirit and angels and orbs and you name it. And yes, you know, I was being touched in the night and woken up and all kinds of strange things happening. And what happened at that time is I built more and more fear around me.
Yeah.
So I became so fearful that I never slept. So for 5 years, there was very little sleep. I'd have the lamp on and I'd watch television till I would fall asleep. I was in this fear mode for a long time. And what happens when you're in that fear mode is your energy starts to manifest something that is very, very real.
Yes.
And if the fear, which is very common, is around nighttime and the dark, then that energy becomes extremely dense.
Yeah. And
can draw in something. But for the most part, it's your own energy that is creating that dark energy. Now, Amy and I are both going to share an experience that we had with the angels. Is in this space of fear, I began to bring in the angels, and I told them that, you know, there was a demon or something dark around me. It was touching me. It was doing all kinds of things. And they said, we want you to face the demon. I said, no, come on. But then they showed me an enormous dark energy in the room, and I wanted to hide from it. And a very audible voice said to me, make it smaller. So in my imagination, you know, I visualised, I could see it, and I visualised this really dark, dense, frightening energy until it became about 3 foot tall. And then the angels said, take this energy by the hand, because it had form, it had shape. So I reached out and I touched this cold, dark being, and I held it. And they said, I want you to show it some love. So I thought about love. And then they said, look down. So I opened my eyes and I looked down. And guess what? I was holding my hand as a child from about 4 years old. That's what I saw. And the angel said to me, give that child what it needs. You do not need to be fearful of anything. So when I shared that happening with Amy, she then told me she had a very similar experience. So we'll share that one, Amy.
Right, so more often than not, these, let's say, dark outside energies or entities that people perceive as psychic attacks are actually created by themselves. And in a lot of instances, it's normally inner healing that has manifested and expressed itself through, like, your thoughts or feelings as an energy. Right, so I had the exact same experience when I was going through a situation with a lad, right, and it was bringing up a guy, right, and he was bringing up loads of trauma and like past stuff, and he had the exact same thing. It was an entity. I was paralysed. I was pulled out of my bed. It was like this black thing at the end. It was like throwing me around the room, and then it was like I heard this voice, and it was like, look at it, look at it, look at it, and it looked like a demonic child, and it pushed me towards the child. And as I got close to the child, I saw that the child was me, and then I had massive compassion for it, and it was the exact same experience, and we've never spoken about this. And what I just want to say is I've had loads of experiences like this, right? When I was younger, it used to happen a lot, and it'd always happen when I was on a come down from taking too many drugs. I was in a low vibrational place in my energy. Other shit was going on in my life, right? And it was like all of this energy is pent up and builds up and then expresses itself as seemingly something that is outside of ourselves and we don't have any control or power over. And that is the lie. And the more that you give energy to, I've got an entity or I've got a parasite or I've got something and it's outside of me and it's controlling me, this is a lie, right? Stop doing this. And what I'm sick to death of seeing, and why I get so passionate and riled up about this, is practitioners that tell other people that they've got a fucking parasite or they've got an entity or something because it's not correct. You've got the power over everything in your reality. You're creating it all of it. When you are in a place of victim, or when you're not looking at stuff, or when you're not doing your healing work, this shit is going to manifest. And it's when people say you've got a whatever, and then they just leave it at that. They don't do any of the healing work with the person, or they look, they look at what's actually going on a deeper level and move them through it or work through it. And yes, I get it. I work with shamanic practitioners. I'm not saying that these things aren't real. What I'm saying is you have power over your reality. You have the power. And where you bring the angels in is you ask for that assistance, you ask for that support, and you say, angels, please help me to clear this. Please help me to look at whatever needs to be looked at here, right? I call the dragons in. So I'm not saying the dark doesn't exist. I'm not saying entities don't exist. What I'm saying is you're creating it. It is you. You have the power over it. Please listen to what I'm saying. You are powerful. The more that you recognise this, it's not going to happen, yeah? Or you will be aware of it, right? So I had a thing the other night. I've not had it for ages, yeah? And I'm going to give you an example of what it's like when you're in a higher vibrational place, when you're doing your inner work, of what happens. So I'm extremely, profoundly, I would say, clairvoyant now, to the point where I will close my eyes and I will literally be in another dimension. I have to do a lot of grounding work and all of that. The other night I was going through something, and it was inner child work that I needed to do, and I had this dream, and there was some sort of, like, let's say you would call it a demonic thing. It felt like it was a psychic attack. They look quite distorted compared to what, like, the angels and guides look like, so it wasn't very nice for me to look at it. I looked at it, I saw it, and I went, no, like that. And I asked my angels in, closed the doors, got rid of it, right? And this happens very rarely to me now, but because I know what that is and where it comes from, I woke up the next day and I was like, I need to look at something. I didn't give power to the fact that, such and such person is sending me psychic attack, right? Because that's not how it, right? Yes, people do that, but you don't have to accept that. And the more that you affirm somebody else is attacking me, you are creating more of that. Stop doing that.
You are allowing that energy in then, if somebody is doing that. So I just want to, not diverse, but I just want to talk about, just for a couple of minutes, is because I am a medium and I do see spirit, and I know that I have seen shadow people and I've seen spirits. And when you see a shadow person, because it appears dark, we automatically think it is evil. So I've asked the angels over and over again to clarify what this is, because when I first started seeing them, I was scared, even though after a while I just used to watch them and think, well, they're not doing me any harm, exactly what are they? So I've come to understand now that for me they are just spirits. And the reason they appear as dark is basically it's how we see them. Either their energy can't manifest properly in spirit. It can be a family member. It can be spirit, who used to live in your house before, who's just passing through. But they can't see, you can't see them. You're seeing them. Usually if you're seeing a shadow person, it's because you have an ability, because to be fair, spirits are passing through all the time. and we'd never see them. But you've seen them, they are there. But it doesn't necessarily mean that they are demonic, because actually your guides can appear this way. Angels can appear this way.
Yeah.
So, you know, we need not go into that fear. If we're putting fear around us and think, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, then we are then creating fear, which will bring in something, because it's a tangible energy.
Yeah.
If we're giving out love all the time and compassion, that our energy vibrations are getting higher and higher and higher. But actually, as a human soul, as a divine spark, as a child of God, you have, I don't know what the words is, you have the power. Your vibrations are already too high for anything demonic to come in. When we bring in the angels, our vibrations are then raised higher and higher. We ask Archangel Michael to protect us, but we can raise our own vibrations. If we're living in a vibration of love, actually something that's very dark can't come near. What you may be perceiving is a dark shadow, which is more than likely just spirit and nothing else. And we don't need to fear them.
Yeah.
If there is, because again, when we look at spirit, spirit are us. We are spirit. We have to remember that. They've just lost their body, if you like. But, you know, if you were a bad person on this side, chances are when you go over, you're not going to change enormously for, I don't know if you ever will. But there are spirits who are mischievous and not very nice.
Yeah.
So as Amy says,
yeah, it exists.
if you start feeling not so good, you actually can say to them, go now, and they will go.
What a lot of people don't realise, I'm going to give you an example of this as well, right, is that you can tell them to do one. Like, this is what people do. Right, so as a human, in a human body, you have free will in this life, right? You came here to experience free will, right? So the angels don't, yeah? The angels and guides will not live our lives for us. This is what Elsa sees. People giving too much power to the angels and guides. Yeah, they assist us. They support us. Yeah, it's like, and with these, let's say, lower vibrational energies, and let's talk about poltergeists. Yeah, so what they tend to do, again, so it's all about working on your own vibration. What they tend to do, where you will find these the most, and I experienced this. Yeah, this personally, if I can talk about it. So I grew up in a house that had poltergeist activity. Yeah, really haunted. Loads and loads of stuff happened. I'm not even going to go into what it is because I'm just not going to give energy to it. But went on for years and years and years. One night it decided it wanted to walk around my bedroom. I got up. I was so angry with it because of years of this shit going on that I just basically, energetically, and it was the first time that I realised that I could deal with that I had power in this situation, shot out of my bed, and in my mind and in my energy, I just went, fuck off, I've had enough, get the fuck out, fuck off, right? And it ran down the stairs, and I'm not even joking, I think I've told this story before, and it went, like that, and from that day on, it never came back. Right, and that was a moment that I realised that actually, and this was, you know, it was a poltergeist. It did all the time, messing about, yeah, just messing with us and stuff. We all saw it, all different things happened. You have power over these things. In that moment, I made an energetic decision to move it. Right, it wasn't going to be in my reality anymore, and I wasn't going to give my fear or my power to it. So that's another example of psychic attack. Now, knowing everything that I know, calling the angels. I even deal like it's just the angels. I'm like, no. And it's the angels move it. But it's very, very rare, and I'm sure it is for you as well, that I have any, and working with even loads of people and everything. And obviously we take good energetic care of ourselves and all that, but it's extremely rare. What happened the other night, and I think it was so that I could talk about it on this, that anything like that ever, like, I don't deal with that now because I work with the angels all the time.
So your vibration is
high. My vibration is high. And obviously we live together and we both do a lot of energetic work. My mum does mediumship, you know, I quantum healing, quantum hypnosis, that's dealing with a lot of different things, right? So, you know, I don't experience things like that in this house because we're not available for it, because we're totally protected.
If there is a spirit that's, because, you know, enjoying readings as well, I always ask for spirits who have good intentions to come, but occasionally an awkward, I call them awkward, I don't call them good, I don't call them bad or evil, I call them
good,
awkward.
Yeah.
So if an awkward so-and-so decides to come and cause havoc, get rid, remove. And I've actually said this, and I've seen Archangel Michael do this. This is amazing. I had in the same house, we were having trouble upstairs, and there was somebody running around all over the place. So I remember just saying, angels, please remove that spirit. So I actually saw Archangel Michael go up the stairs, and I heard an almighty rumpus, and I saw him escorting the spirit out. There was 2 angels. I felt like one was a guardian angel, by the scruff of the neck. And I think, wow. And we never had any trouble again. So I think that maybe that. Well, we've come to realise. Sorry, go on.
I really want to talk to this. I really want to talk to Maxine. I really want to answer this question because this is a really, really, really good question.
Yeah, okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Right, sorry to interrupt you. I just want to make sure we get this in. Right, Maxine, do you think anxiety is a psychic attack? I'm having tons of it. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Anxiety is anxiety.
Yeah.
It's anxiety. We've both had severe anxiety disorders. I had like a long-term anxiety disorder to the point where I couldn't leave the house, right? That's a whole other story. And really, really bad, debilitating panic attacks, for years. No, anxiety is anxiety. And I remember the very first panic attack that I ever had when I was 16, and I was in the Mormon church at the time, and I actually ran all the way home because I felt and I believed that there was a demonic presence chasing me, because that's what my thought process was. No, lovely. No, please don't think that way. Anxiety, it's anxiety, right? It's a feeling, yeah? If it's an anxiety disorder, then it's obviously something that's long-term, and that it's something that you need to look at and work through with somebody, okay, and address. But feelings of anxiety, are anxiety. Yeah, what we're getting at here is that when people say that they're being psychically attacked and they're seeing things and they're having things happen to them, a lot of the time it's because vibrationally then they're in a place that, what all we're saying here is, you are absolutely powerful in any situation, and it's like these things happen and then there's more fear, and that, do you know what I mean? And then it's like it builds and it builds and it builds.
If you're going through a spiritual awakening, it's a very real thing. It means you're becoming more sensitive, starting to go inwards, starting to perceive that you are more than this. But it may be that if you're mediumistic, it might be that you are sensing spirit around you. So, you know, it's the unknown, so it's not unusual to start to feel very, very anxious.
Yeah.
And then to develop an anxiety disorder, and then to become quite ill with it.
Yeah, we've seen that.
But it's two separate things. Yeah. It's 2 very separate things. This is why we need people to understand that getting rid of the fear around these spiritual things, and understanding that you are safe, bringing the angels, you are okay, then a lot of that anxiety will subside. So, you know, just to be clear, anxiety can bring on many, many physical symptoms, including feelings of crawling skin. Yeah. And as if you're being touched and all kinds. But that is very different, because spirit do touch. They do. Yeah. The angels do. They brush your hair, and it does feel like cobwebs. Yeah. But this can cause anxiety because we don't understand what it is. Yeah. But once we get rid of that fear and the anxiety subsides, But obviously, when you are going through a spiritual awakening, is your senses are being heightened, which means you're getting more and more sensitive. So it can lead to a little bit of depression, but you're anxious because anyone who's been through this will understand what it means to be empathic, where you're constantly worrying. That for me is always the downside of spiritual people, is this inner worrying. So it's something that needs to be worked on.
Yeah,
And
it's
the belief,
all inner work.
It is all in.
Yeah.
And the belief that you are everything. You know, we need to go in and start to realise to love ourselves. But it is a common thing that we second guess, you know, does this person mean what they're saying? Am I doing it right? Do I look okay? It's very, very common. And it can lead to a lot of anxiety. But again, this is all about the inner work. And just, for me, everything changed and turned round as soon as I acknowledged my guardian angel and brought in the angels. Ask if you're afraid to go to sleep, ask Archangel Michael to put a blue auric bubble around you.
So something I do every night as well is I ask the angels and guides to please clear my energy and protect my sleep and protect my journey and whilst I sleep. So I do definitely believe in protection, but what I'm getting at is it's not about like, it's about protection from a place of empowerment and knowing that you're powerful, not a protection from I need to shield myself because everything. Do you know what I mean? It's a very different way of looking at it. That's the thing
that people believe when we talk about grounding and protection. Oh my God, there must be something I need protecting from. So actually, I wonder if we could use a better word than protection.
I just think raising your vibration.
Raising your vibration is a better word because, you know, as I said before, we do not need to be fearful of anything.
No.
We are already actually beings of light. There are some people who choose not to acknowledge their divine side and to do atrocities. But for the most part, people are good.
Yeah.
They are good. And if you're spiritual and your intentions are good, then your vibrations are actually already high. The guides will, so this is another thing that people think when I've been touched or when I hear a voice, it's all bad, you know. We're being tested. If we're meant to be mediums or meant to be working in this business, we actually they do test us. I've had endless conversations with my guides about this. They test to see whether we're responding. So they may say your name and you respond to it. Most of the time people don't respond, doesn't even acknowledge it. Yeah. But they may touch you to see, have you acknowledged it?
Because it's interesting that you say that, because I remember when we were first doing our mediumship training, I had loads of things happen, like physical things and like absolutely loads, but now we don't have anything. Like I have nothing now. So I wonder if they were like testing me to see, is it working?
I know this for a fact.
Yeah.
And it's not always spirit. Your guides are very, and the angels, Archangel Metatron as well, and especially your guardian angel, I think, is top of the list here.
Yeah.
Knows the path that you're supposed to be on and will test you to see if you are responding. So it's a bit freaky to us, but we've agreed to do this work before we came.
Yeah.
They know when the timing is right, and they'll say, right, we don't want to frighten her, but we're going to have to prod her awake. She's going to have to see something now.
Yeah.
But, you know, as Amy said, actually, once you start doing the work, if you're doing what I'm doing, once you start channeling, everything starts to be in an orderly fashion. They're going to jump in, you're going to have the occasional visitation. And I enjoy them now. Just say, oh, hello.
Yeah, I mean, so there's another way you can look at this, right? When something happens, instead of going into fear about it, like now, I'm just like, hang on a minute, I'm just going to get my notepad. You can have like a playful sense of, oh, are you? That's kind of what it's like now. It's
goody, what I'm about to see.
Yeah.
That's the way I feel about it now. But before, I just think spirit was completely out of order. I saying they were jumping in all over the place. I do believe very much so that my guides and the angels let them in just to see what I can do as a massive test, but also for me to learn how to handle it all. But it's in an orderly fashion now, and I'm the one who's in charge of it.
Yeah.
So, those experiences, experiences of joy now. I'm in joy rather than in fear. And I've learned wholly that this is all incredible. Even when I do every reading I do, I'm in awe. You know, sometimes when I do a reading and, you know, the clients just think, wow, how did she know? At the same time, I'm thinking on the inside, oh, wow, this is incredible. Every reading for me is a blessing. And now I look back at those experiences, which at the time were terrifying, but now I just think, wow, I find it funny now when I look back. Funny how I reacted.
Yeah.
Because I understand so much more now. And I'm going to say this, Amy, because I know that you believe it too, and it happens to be a fact, is sometimes the person prodding you and touching you is you, your higher self. Who knows it's time to wake up and goes in and is instrumental. I know I can take it because it's me, so I'm going to shake me up. So there's a lot going on, but quite often it's you. And the reason I know that now is the experience of seeing the so-called demon who actually was me. So that was my higher self. I manifested the fear, but my higher self was instrumental in teaching me how to handle awkward spirits, not demons, I'm going to call them awkward spirits. So if you have any questions, because it is a big subject and obviously we've only got half an hour or so to talk about it, but if you'd like to know more, you know, send us some questions and I'm sure we'll try and answer it in the next one. But it's a big subject, but what we want now is for you to go to go to bed tonight, bring in the angels and not be in a state of fear. Right,
Maxine, I just want to answer what you've put here, because there's also this thing in the spiritual community, because Maxine, the lady that said about the anxiety, she put, thank you, I will try to raise my vibe, that really makes sense. Okay, so what raising your vibe looks like, if you have got an anxiety disorder, it doesn't look like, and I'm not saying that this is what you're doing, because I know when you go into meditation things, because I don't want anyone to watch this back and misunderstand what it is that I'm saying here, right? When you've got an anxiety disorder or you've got something going on, you need to feel that feeling and process it, because these things manifest as a result of you not being with your feelings. So I understand what it's like to have an anxiety disorder, and the reason that I had it is because I was pushing my feelings away for like so many years. So raising your vibe actually looks like, when you've got anxiety, being with that fear. And a lot of the time, you're going to cry or you're going to have a release. It just wants to be expressed. And that's the very thing that actually over time, you know, then you feel more in a place where the anxiety is less and less and less. It's not sort of like about pushing it away. I'm not saying that this is what you're doing, Maxine. I just want to make it clear for people that are watching. You've got to learn to be with the feelings and let the emotion express itself. And then what is that emotion actually showing you, right? Because a lot of the time it's like moving you in a different direction in your life, right? So it's about feeling it, expressing it, being with it, not pushing it away, and this is another thing I just want to say, I don't want anyone to watch this now and think, I can't be anxious or I can't be this because I'm going to manifest an entity or something. That's not it either.
Or to feel guilty that I'm not able to raise my vibrations, so there's something wrong with me. Because for a while, you know, it could be that you do need to see a doctor. But for me, learning all about how your body works, how a panic attack manifests itself, understanding what it is being halfway there to really getting rid of them. But, you know, we can talk about this. We've both had counselling. We both know how to do spiritual counselling, if anybody does want to book a session just for that. But yeah, what do you think, Amy?
I think that if you're going through anxiety or something like that and you've just watched this and now you're thinking, oh my God, like, what I think is just call in your angels, like we were saying, ask them to support you through the anxiety or whatever it's going in. And if you need to take another step, ask them to help you to take that next step and to protect your energy. But do it from a place of knowing that you are powerful, no matter what you are going through right now, and that it's all adding up and that it's all helping you on your journey and it's shifting your life in some way. And this is what I'm talking about. What is that emotion for? What is it showing me after you have sat with it and been with it and processed it and cried it out and fully felt it? And because that's a lot of the time where, you know, then you're not manifesting things in your life and whatever else. But please don't anyone watching this misinterpret what we're saying, because again, there's that idea of I need to be in a high vibe, because that's not it either, because that's not realistic, right? It's about where your focus and your energy is going. Do you accept and acknowledge that you are powerful, and that no matter what emotion you're feeling right now, you are still powerful, and it's just something you're moving through, and you've got angelic support and a team of protectors to call on in any given moment. So that's what we're saying. Yeah. That's what I would just like to say.
One last note, just to talk about manifestation. If there is, let's say there is somebody who has bad feelings about you and believes that they can psychically attack you with bad feelings or sending something to you, just remember this. This is how manifestation works. They send that out, it goes round and round in a circle and comes right back to them, not to you. If you saying to yourself, I am being psychically attacked, then you are manifesting that vibration to come to you.
You're accepting it.
You're accepting it. So we all we need to say is, I do not accept.
No, thank you.
No, thank you. Be in a vibration of love. And that feeling, just like a boa or just like a boomerang, will come straight back to them.
And also what I would be affirming to myself and focusing my attention on and reprogramming my mind to think is that people are good, people are always kind to me, people are always nice to me, people have my best interests at heart, right? And then, they might think whatever about you, because it's not acknowledging that it doesn't exist, but it doesn't get to exist in your reality if you don't give your attention or your focus or your energy or your emotions to it. Angels, call in your angels, goodbye. Do you know what I mean? It is this simple. This is what we're saying. So this is what we would like people to take away. Okay, so we're going to finish it there. I have put a link to my YouTube in the comments, so you can go back and watch all of the rest of these angelic activations. There's not going to be one next week because I am going on holiday. Oh my God, my first holiday in like 4 years, like 5 years, whatever. Can't even tell you, I'm so excited. So there's not going to be one next week. I'm doing manifest your business activation sessions tomorrow, and then I probably will do that next week, but obviously my mum won't be with me. So I'm going to drop another link in as well, because I've just created a whole 1 hour training workshop for people that would love to leave their 9 to 5 and are wanting to know the steps to take to manifesting a full-time business. So I'm going to leave that link in the comments below, because I am changing direction completely now pretty much in my business, apart from in what I'm doing, in the work that I'm doing, apart from the light language. So I'm super excited, so look out for that post soon, and then you can let me know if it resonates with you. And there's this whole 1 hour training as well for the energetic and the practical steps to manifesting a full-time business. Okay, and what are you doing?
I'm continuing. I'm not going on holiday, so I'm doing readings. Yes, my next event is the 9th and 10th. That's at Middleton Masonic. You can pre-book readings if you want to, or if you just want to come down, listen to some talks about the angels. I'll be there doing my all. And I'm also doing angelic Reiki. But if you want to learn tarot, then just drop me a line, just drop me a little message.
Okay, so that was very ranty, but it was very fun because I love talking about this subject.
It keeps occurring.
Yeah. So it's probably triggered some people, but sorry, not sorry.
Yeah. So just one thing I will say on this subject is I have come across this, that people are actually afraid to come for a reading because they think something might attach themselves because I'm bringing spirit forward, spirit messages. It's just completely and utterly not true.
No.
Okay, so we'll leave that with you. So you will have a lovely week. I know some of us will be in the rain and the cold, but I'm sure you'll be thinking about me.
Right, all right. Right, hi Catherine, hi Alison, hi anyone else that's joined in the meantime. Thank you for your comments. Sorry we've not gone through them all, but we just didn't want to get too sidetracked because once again we've gone massively over.
I do think we will probably return to this subject. Just send us any questions, queries about it that you want answering.
Okay,
Amy.
Right, yeah. So write the questions in the comments below, and we'll aim to answer them on a future one. Let us know later on if you are watching this. Leave us a little heart. What did you get from this? Did you resonate with it? And again, you can watch all of the the previous ones if you subscribe to my YouTube. So have a beautiful evening, and we will see you not next week, but the week after. Okay.